Hey, Prime Motivation family. Ready for a dose of pure motivational adrenaline? Today, we're diving headfirst into a story that's going to shake your core and reignite that fire within you. Have you ever felt defeated, like the world was crumbling around you? Well, my friends, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Don't let failure define you. Isn't just a title. It's a battle cry against everything trying to bring us down. Get ready for an electrifying journey of overcoming obstacles that will make you rethink every challenge in your life. Let's do this. The piercing sound of the alarm clock shattered the silence of my room at 5 a.m. I opened my eyes, feeling the familiar weight of defeat on my shoulders. It had been exactly a year since my business had failed, taking my dreams and self-esteem down with it. Every morning was a battle against the urge to just stay in bed and give up. I dragged myself to the bathroom, avoiding the mirror. I didn't want to see the reflection of the failure I'd become. The words of my critics echoed in my mind. You'll never make it. Entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. You better get a real job. Those voices had become my personal demons, haunting me day and night. As I sipped on a tasteless coffee, my eyes landed on a dusty book on the shelf. The Power of Resilience, the title read. I vaguely remembered buying it during more optimistic times. With a sigh, I picked up the book. What harm could it do to flip through it? As I read the first few pages, a sentence jumped out at me. Failure is an event, not a person. Those words hit me like a lightning bolt. It was as if someone had turned on a small light at the end of the dark tunnel I was in. For the first time in months, I felt a spark of hope. What if I'd been looking at everything the wrong way? What if my business's failure was just a chapter, not the end of my story? At that moment, I made a decision. I wouldn't let failure define me anymore. It was time to change the narrative, to rewrite my story. With renewed determination, I grabbed a notebook and started planning. It wouldn't be easy, I knew that, but something inside me had shifted. The journey to overcoming was just beginning, and I was ready to face every challenge head on. With the notebook open in front of me, I began to outline an action plan. My hand trembled slightly as I wrote, a reflection of the fear that still pulsed in my chest. But something was different now. There was a spark of determination mixed with that fear. Goals, I wrote at the top of the page, underlining the word with force. The first step was obvious. I needed to regain my physical and mental health. Months of depression had taken their toll, and I barely recognized myself. I decided to start with something simple, a daily 30-minute walk. It seemed small, but for someone who barely got out of bed, it was quite a challenge. The next morning, I laced up my dusty sneakers and headed outside. The cool morning air hit my face like a reality check. My muscles protested, unaccustomed to the movement. But with each step, I felt like I was breaking the chains that had held me to the past. Resilience, I murmured to myself, reminding myself of the book. That's what it's all about. Gradually, the walks turned into runs. The runs turned into gym sessions, and with every drop of sweat, I felt my confidence grow. It wasn't just about getting in shape, it was about proving to myself that I could set a goal and achieve it. Each small victory was a brick in the construction of my new identity. In parallel, I dove headfirst into personal development and entrepreneurship books. I studied as if my life depended on it, and in a way, it did. I learned about resilience, growth mindset, and the importance of learning from failures. Each new concept was a tool I added to my mental arsenal. Slowly, I was reprogramming my brain, replacing negative thoughts with a positive and proactive attitude. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, I felt a deep change occurring within me. I was no longer that defeated person who woke up every morning feeling like a failure. Now, I faced each day as a new opportunity for growth and overcoming challenges. One day, while running in the park, something that had become an essential part of my routine had an epiphany. I realized that my old business failed, not because I was incapable, but because I lacked the knowledge and experience at the time. It was time to turn that experience into something positive. I decided I would create an online platform to help other entrepreneurs avoid the mistakes I had made. The process of building something from scratch again was daunting. Every line of code I wrote, every piece of content I created, brought with it the ghost of my past failure. But now I had a secret weapon: resilience. Life change begins with a mindset change, I repeated to myself as a mantra while working late into the night. There were moments of doubt, of course. nights when the fear of failure felt suffocating. But instead of letting it paralyze me, I used that fear as fuel. I turned every obstacle into a challenge to be overcome, every criticism into an opportunity for improvement. My determination was unshakable. As the platform took shape, I began sharing my journey on social media. To my surprise, people responded with enthusiasm. I received messages from other entrepreneurs who identified with my story of downfall and rise. I realized that my experience of overcoming wasn't just about me, it was a source of inspiration for others. This added a new level of purpose to my work, fueling my motivation even further to keep going. The launch of my platform was approaching, bringing with it a mix of emotions I had never experienced before. Anxiety, anticipation, and a hint of fear danced in my stomach. But this time, there was something different and unshakable confidence that I had built throughout this journey of transformation. The night before the big day, I sat in front of the computer, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. With a deep breath, I clicked the launch button. It was official. My new creation was live, ready for the world to see. In that moment, all the sleepless nights, all the moments of doubt, all the sweat and tears, everything was worth it. The first few hours were an emotional roller coaster. I anxiously watched the metrics, seeing the first users sign up. Each new registration was a validation of my hard work, proof that I had risen from the ashes of my past failure. The messages of support and thanks started pouring in, filling my inbox with words of encouragement and stories of people who felt inspired by my journey. As days passed, the platform gained momentum. Entrepreneurs from all corners shared their experiences, learned from each other, and, more importantly, learned from the mistakes I had made. Seeing this community grow and thrive was more rewarding than any financial success I could have imagined. Reflecting on my journey, I realized that failure wasn't the end, it was just the beginning of something greater. Every obstacle I faced, every moment of doubt, every criticism, it all shaped me, strengthened me, and prepared me for this moment. The discipline I developed, the resilience I cultivated, and the positive attitude I adopted not only saved me, but also turned me into someone capable of helping others. Today, when I look in the mirror, I no longer see the failure that once haunted me. I see a survivor, a winner, someone who refused to be defined by their downfalls. My message to everyone struggling is simple. Don't let failure define you. Use it as a stepping stone to success. Remember, overcoming isn't about never falling, it's about always getting up, stronger and wiser than before. So, Prime Motivation family. Wow, what an incredible journey, right? I hope this story has lit that fire within you, just as it did in me. Remember, each of us has the power to rewrite our story, to turn our defeats into epic victories. It doesn't matter where you are now. What matters is where you're headed. So, next time you feel like failure is defining you, stop, take a deep breath, and remember, you are so much more than your mistakes. You are the sum of all the times you got up, dusted yourself off, and kept moving forward. Now, I want to hear from you. What was the biggest lesson you took from this story? Share it in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the motivational content we've got lined up for you. Until next time, Prime Motivation family, remember, failure is just a step on the ladder to success. Let's keep climbing together.